Welcome back everyone, it's Robert Macfarlane here. Today we're going to be going through why you should get your music before you even film. Bam, 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 bam. Most of us don't get the chance to even think about the music we're going to use in our films until we're way into the edit, and it's such a huge missed opportunity. It's insane that we spend all this time at the beginning of our film talking with DPs and talking with lighting people and producers and talking with the writer, but the music is literally, as Quentin Tarantino said, one of the most cinematic things that you can ever add to your film. It's the moment that it turns it into a movie, and you've got this opportunity to get it when you want. And why would we wait until the end to even think about it? Some of you may have an idea of the sound that you like, or you heard this in a movie and it went really, really well. I believe that this is one of the most powerful decisions you can make as a director, as a storyteller on your next movie, and here's why. Music has the power to evolve your film, to transform it. Some directors have even gone as far as editing to the music rather than having the music be composed to the film. Some directors, before they found anyone else for their crew, are already working with their composer and the script to draw out the composing for the film. And then the film is planned, designed, blocked around the music and the script. Sergio Leone's spaghetti western movies were hugely famous for doing this. They would actually take the music, play the music on set, and block everyone and their steps and their actions and the extras to the music. Even his close-ups would be to the music for that moment, for that cut, and the actors would be able to react and emote to that music. Now, of course, that does make sound a slightly trickier, but it does get the actors into the mood, into the tone that you are trying to convey for the film. So maybe that's something you could try in your next movies. Actors are finely tuned artists. So put them together with one of the most powerful tools for accessing emotion can only help and aid them in getting to where they need to be emotionally in your scene. This is another brilliant way to bring your artists into the tone and texture of the type of film that you want to create. So by playing your music while you're on set, everyone's working away, the actors are there, the crew's there, you're actually able to evoke the tone of the scene without even having to tell them. They get it, they understand what you're trying to do, and they can actually make on-set decisions, aesthetic choices, creative choices, which can actually impart more onto your film. You're on your horror film set. The lighting is perfect, the actors are trying to get into character, and you turn on the music for this scene, and they're feeling exactly what you want them to feel because the music evokes that in them. Everybody knows exactly the feeling and tone in this moment, whether it be tense or frightening or scary, but they understand exactly what you want. Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns use this method all the time. He would actually have them all listening to the music, and this would enable people to make tonal choices, the actors to get into character, to evoke the feeling and emotion for that scene. Super powerful technique to aid and direct your cast and crew. Finally, why I think you should have the music before you film is when you reach your edit, you've already got the music to edit to. And this is so empowering. You'll find that you'll be able to get into your rough cut, into a medium cut even faster. And it also gives you so much energy when you've realized that, oh, I can feel and see how this is coming together. Hold on! Don't get too locked into your tracks. that can actually be detrimental to your film. When you're editing, the pace of your scene must be at the behest of the emotion that you're trying to convey, not the music that you've chosen at the beginning. So if you do have to change your track, don't be afraid, don't be worried, you can do it. You already understand the tone of what you're trying to go for. Maybe you need to make it longer, shorter, or slightly change it, but at least you've done a good chunk of the work beforehand, and it's going to make that post process just so much easier. Most famously, this technique is used by Quentin Tarantino. Whenever he writes his films, he actually already has an idea of all of the music he wants to use in his film. It wasn't until his later films, which he actually started to use a composer in The Hateful Eight, but to be honest, in all of his films before that, from Reservoir Dogs to Jackie Brown, he had a fantastically precise idea of exactly what music he needed to use throughout his film. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go out there and find the huge Billboard top 10 music and throw that into your films. Believe me, you don't want to tackle the legalities of that. You can go on tons of sites out there, from Artlist.io, which I use, to Premium Beat and all of these different places where they do some brilliant music, and that's going to really help to hone your film. Even if you just get the sample version of the tracks to give you an idea of what you want, and then once you've made a solid decision, then you purchase the track. And if you've got the contacts or the budget, yes, absolutely get a composer. They're going to be able to tailor make the music for your film, read your script and interpret it. And that will always be so much more personal to the film that you're trying to create with a composer, in my opinion. Other directors have brilliant success with finding pre-made tracks. I find that both can work, but it's up to you to see what you can find and what you need for your film. Finally, I do want you to be aware of one major pitfall that it's so easy to fall into it. I've done it, I think many other people have done it, and that is editing to the beat of the music. This gets me a little pent up. I see this so often, even in big Hollywood blockbuster movies, where they'll cut on the major beat, and all it does is it draws the attention to the music, not the story. Instead, if you actually cut your clips, so the action of the character in the scene, whether it be a blink or a turn of an eye or a flick of a hand, and that lands on the beat, that can make it so much more powerful, because it makes the music feel like it's embedded into the story and not laid on top. Thinking about it in another way, actors are meant to react to other actors, and that is that they give back the energy that they receive. They react to the energy that they feel. So music, being just as powerful as this, enables the actors to get into that zone, to be able to react to that tone, that feeling that the music is giving them. This is especially useful if an actor can't be looking at the other character in a scene because of camera position, or maybe an actor is no longer available at a certain time and you only have one actor and they have to go and do the reaction shots. In review, try designing your film to the music. Block the characters and the camera and make sure that they are timed to the music that you're already going to use. You can do this by playing the music while you're filming the scenes themselves, and this can be a really great motivator. Try getting your cast and crew in the mood, understanding the tone of your film by actually playing the music while you're on set before you actually film a scene. Get that music down on that timeline before you've edited any of your footage. This is going to be a great way for you to power through your rough cut and see exactly what your film could potentially become. And it's so empowering and so motivating to see your film actually with music on it. It's going to change the way you edit. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this episode was super useful for you. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, check out my Patreon page in the link below, where you can question me about filmmaking and directing, and even get one-on-one sessions with me to discuss your film. And drop a comment below if there's anything that you can think of that you'd like to learn more about in your directing journey that I can make in the coming weeks.